What's up, everybody? It's Caden Cleveland here with the Oklahoma Senate, and you are joining us for a very special edition of OK Senate Sit Down. We are joined with our Appropriations Chair, Senator Thompson. Senator Thompson, this is the second time you've joined us to talk about budgets, of course. Today we're going to be focusing in on something that just took place yesterday, the Board of Equalization meeting. So hang tight with us, guys. This is going to be a very educational video. We're going to be talking about why the Board of Equalization meets and what actual impact this has on our state budget. So, sound good, Senator?
Sounds great to me.
Awesome. Well, let's go. Hang on tight, guys, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, and as I mentioned before, we are with Senator Thompson, our Senate Appropriations Chair. So, Senator Thompson, yesterday the Board of Equalization met, and this is something that they do every year, correct?
Correct.
Now, first off, for people outside the Capitol building who may not know exactly what the Board of Equalization is and what the important role is that they play in our state budget process, would you mind telling us just a little bit of background on that so we're all on the same page?
Oh, absolutely. By the way, yesterday was a wild day.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the governor's conference room packed with individuals because they really want to know. And this is an exciting year because it's the first year since I've been here, this is my fifth year, to have a surplus that we're going to actually look at. So $612 million is going to be there. So the Board of Equalization takes figures from the Oklahoma Tax Commission, and they begin to forecast what revenue will have come in this next year.
Okay.
Some of it is based on oil and gas prices that are going to be out that way. Some of it's going to be based on consumer confidence with our sales tax. And so the board will come together and say, we really believe at this moment that we're going to have an 8% increase in revenue over what we had last year, which is about $612 million.
Right.
Now, that is the number that the governor and Governor-elect Stitt and his team will be putting together their budget that they will present on February 4th to the legislature. There will be another Board of Equalization meeting in February that will come back and certify another number. Now, it could be the same, it could be higher, it could be lower, but then they come back and they say, okay, this is actually the revenue that we're seeing coming in this year. And we begin to write the budget off of it.
So it's almost like a follow-up meeting to this first meeting?
Exactly. There are two of those meetings. And as we get ready to go into session, just simply dealing with this is the revenue that we have to work with.
Gotcha.
And as I said a moment ago, it's an 8% growth over this last year. Now, what we also need to keep in mind with that, and people get excited because we have just a little bit of cash, is that the agency's requests far exceed the $612 million.
Yes, sir.
And we can just name a couple of those right quick. When the Department of Correction comes in, and they were a little over $500 million last year, they want $1.5 billion this year.
So quite a bit of increase right there.
You can't get that out of $600 million. The Department of Education wants over $440 million. You can't get all of that.
Right.
And so we still must prioritize. It's still going to be a difficult year for us to look at what the core services are in the state of Oklahoma. And it is my plan and for our subcommittee chairs to go line by line over every budget to make sure every dollar is spent wisely.
That's great. Okay, so the Board of Equalization meets, just so I'm getting the full picture here, they put out the projected overall budget of what we are able to appropriate out. Right. And then you and the sub-chairs get together and you guys go line by line and actually appropriate the money out. Is that getting the main understanding of what's going on?
It's an excellent concept. Okay. In other words, they will set the parameters. We have $612 million more than we had last year that to appropriate. And then the legislature will come down and say, okay, where do we want this money? Right. And of course, we're all still waiting on Governor-elect Stitt to put forth his budget plan.
Gotcha. Okay, got it. Okay, well, I guess moving forward, you mentioned that even though we are going to have a little bit more cash, you mentioned 8% growth. Yes. That is not necessarily make your job a whole lot easier than it's been in the past. There's still a ton of challenges that you and the entire Senate are going to be facing, correct?
Oh, very, very much so. Our number one responsibility is to the Oklahoma taxpayer and to make sure that every dollar is accounted for. Wow. We have great needs in the state. There's no doubt, and we don't take any of those lightly. Gotcha. But we also have a balanced budget amendment within our Constitution, and we can't print money. And so at the end of the day, we've got to take the money that we have before us and do the very best job we can to fund the core elements of government.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're about out of time here, but that's your kind of crash course on the latest update on the Oklahoma budget process, the Board of Equalization meeting. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we sign off?
No, it's an exciting time to be a part of the state of Oklahoma.
That is true.
All new leadership coming in. There seems to be just a positive feeling in the air of cooperation in the House and the Senate and the governor's office. And I do look for good things to happen for the people of Oklahoma this year.
And that you can't emphasize that enough, because while it is kind of a reality check, we're going to have growth, but make sure we cover all of our necessary expenses first.
Right,
Don't get too excited. But at the same time, there is an extreme feeling of optimism moving into this session. So that's very exciting, and very glad to hear you say that. So, well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you've been able to learn a little bit about everything Senator Thompson's got going on. A lot, I guess, with Board of Equalization meeting yesterday, and all your sub-chairs. You're going to have a lot of work cut out for him. So thanks for joining us, guys, and I guess we'll see you later. Bye, guys.